Russia's illegal and brutal invasion of Ukraine was a watershed moment for Sweden and for Europe. It changed our security situation, and after a careful analysis process with the parties in Parliament, my government, with broad parliamentary support, decided that Sweden should apply for NATO membership. The historical significance of this decision is obvious. Ending 200 years of military non-alignment is not to be done without careful consideration. And the fact that Sweden and Finland are applying for membership simultaneously will reinforce the security for both of us, for the Baltic Sea region, for Europe, and for NATO.
When we talk about security, even if it's not that visible in daily life, it has a huge impact in our minds, and that makes this decision also historic. If you know that you have a secure country to live and build and work, that has an impact to all of your behavior. It gives security of mind.
Please welcome the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Norway, Anniken Huitfeldt.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you all on this very, very special occasion. And it's a particular honor for me to be celebrating two fellow Nordic countries, two countries that are such strong allies and also friends. To Norway, to their European neighbors, and indeed around the globe. For many decades, Finland and Sweden had foreign policies based on neutrality and non-alignment. Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine changed this. When Finnish and Swedish ambassadors submitted their letters of application to the NATO headquarters in May, the sentiment in Norway was finally. When Norway took the decision to join NATO back in 1949, our Prime Minister at that time had really hoped he would be accompanied by Sweden and Finland. He hoped to bring the Nordic countries together under the Atlantic Security Guarantee. In fact, the year before, when he did not manage to establish a unified Nordic defense alliance, he got so depressed that he escaped to his cabin in the wood. So his Minister of Defense had to drive out personally to persuade him to come back to Oslo, where actually Prime Minister Churchill was visiting. With this background, it was a special occasion for NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, my fellow Norwegian, to receive the applications. Over the past years, Finland and Sweden have been increasingly integrated in NATO exercises. This will allow them to work together with NATO from day one. For Norway, their membership will be an important element in the security architecture in the High North. As a neighbor to Russia, our aim is, as has always been, to maintain low tension in the High North. This is an aim we share with Sweden and Finland. When the terrible war in Ukraine broke out, I spoke to my friends Anne and Pekka, foreign ministers from Sweden and Finland on a daily basis. And on the first weekend, we all changed our long-standing practice of not supplying weapons to countries at war. Finland and Sweden's membership process is moving quickly forward. Nearly all NATO members have now approved their membership. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor the global citizens. This is a title both Sweden and Finland deserve through their strong and decisive actions. I'm therefore so happy to present this year's Global Citizens Awards to both President Niinistö of Finland and Prime Minister Andersson of Sweden. So please direct your attention to the screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the Atlantic Council, unfortunately, I can't be there with you, but I want to thank the Atlantic Council for granting me the Global Citizen Award. It is a great honor. For more than 6 decades, the Atlantic Council has worked to strengthen the transatlantic bond. Many who are there tonight have dedicated their life and work to nurturing relations across the Atlantic. The past months have shown that that bond not only remains strong, it is becoming ever stronger. The transatlantic community is unified and unwavering in its support to Ukraine. We will continue to defend our values and the foundational principles of democracy. The mission of the Atlantic Council, shaping the global future together, now has an urgent ring to it. The transatlantic bond has many strands: culture, commerce, security, politics, and more. Preparing for this speech, I tried to think what its essence is for me personally. It has long roots. It's woven from early memories of a young boy in the Finnish countryside in the 1950s, of American sports, music, and movies where good always won over evil. It is a flavor of the ultimate American symbol, Coca-Cola. But most of all, its formation has been guided by literature. From Hemingway to Bellow, from Vonnegut to Auster, from Morrison to Egan, and many others, literature has been my window to understanding the American soul. In my political life, I have always seen it as fundamentally important to Finland to anchor firmly in the transatlantic community. We have long been a close partner of NATO. Now we are taking the next necessary step and becoming an ally. Finland's decision to apply for NATO membership was a true triumph of democracy. In the Finnish parliament, it got a 94% majority. I'm happy to admit that the US Senate did even better with a 95% majority for ratification of Finland and Sweden's membership. I would like to thank all the senators who supported us. Also, to those who have had their doubts, Finland has a reputation of taking its commitments seriously. As a NATO member, we will commit to the security of the whole alliance, to the security of all allies. To paraphrase President Kennedy, we intend to not only ask what NATO can do for us, but what we can do for NATO. Over the years, I have had the pleasure of meeting 5 US presidents. To all of them, my message has been the same. We are interlinked through our values, our economies, and our history, and through our future. Yes, Europe needs the US, but the US also needs Europe. And the world grows more and more insecure and divided. It is imperative that we come even closer together. The economic consequences of the current war underline the need for ever closer cooperation to boost our resilience. We need to take a serious look at our supply chains, dependencies, and critical industries. But we must set our horizons beyond the needs of the moment. Our future competitiveness and national security will be closely tied to emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and biotechnologies. Technological standardization is already becoming an arena for geopolitical competition. We need to keep up, and we need to ensure that technology will be developed and used in line with our values. Efforts are already underway to increase cooperation among the so-called techno-democracies. This approach has my full support. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to once again thank the Atlantic Council for this honor and for all your efforts to strengthen our transatlantic community, our bond. The historical record is impressive, but the work is far from complete. Let us use this moment to better prepare for future challenges. Shaping our global future together is now more vital than ever. Thank you.
Accepting on behalf of President Niinistö this evening, please welcome Finland's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Pekka Haavisto.
Dear Anniken, my good friend Ann Linde, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and honor to receive the Global Citizen Award of the Atlantic Council on behalf of President of the Republic of Finland, Sauli Niinistö. We sincerely appreciate that our President, together with our dear neighbor, Prime Minister Andersson, is receiving the recognition this very year during the transatlantic bond has strengthened in an unprecedented manner. We are dealing with an exceptional crisis that violates the very key norms of our global order. UN Charter is very clear: use of force against the territorial integrity is not acceptable. We all have been deeply impressed by the courage of the Ukrainian people and their determination in defending their own country. Russia's attack caused a ripple effect throughout the neighborhood. Finland and Sweden have drawn their conclusions. The two nations, with long traditions of independent defense but increasingly close security cooperation with their partners, decided to apply for membership in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. European and transatlantic partners have acted extremely united during Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We need to remain resilient and keep on strengthening the transatlantic cooperation. We need to maintain and renew the international rules-based system built on the values we share. We truly appreciate the strong support we are receiving from our valued partners, the US and the others. Thank you very much.